So even though the concept of iskafia is higher than the concept of ischafcha, you still have to have both concepts of arousal from below to tikkun, to tohu and to tikkun, the tzaddikim and the bali tshuva. Because the main concept is that you have to have a dwelling place in this world. The world was created for dwelling, not not just to go upward and be not. The point is to draw down the lights of the infinite light into vessels below. But you nonetheless, you want to draw down the lights of Soviv into Mamale, so you want to have the lights of Tohu in the vessels of Tikkun. Drawing down the Soviv into the Mamale. And this is through the arousal from below that we mentioned before, through the matzah nimshach my nukvin la'oros de tohu. So is there an arousal from below to the lights of tohu to draw them into the kelim of tikkun v'aydeis havcha desfiras ha'omer, and through afterwards also changing oneself through the sfiras ha'omer nimshach or nasa the kelim the tikkun it draws down the vessels of tikkun for these lights from the matzah, and then afterwards on Shavuos you have the revelation and drawing down the concept of the crown. That's actually drawing down the lights of the infinity that surrounds creation, Sovev, into the vessels of the tikkun. So first you reveal the lights of Tohu on the first night of Pesach, and then you count the Omer and create the kelim of tikkun. And then on Shavuos, you actually draw down that light into the vessels that you made. That you have a concept of matzah that's called the bread of poverty. There's two concepts of matzah. And there's also a concept of the rich matzah that's mixed with wine or oil or honey or milk. And then you have a third concept of bread, the two breads of Shavuos, which are chametz. So then these three concepts of bread, the bread of poverty is the concept of bending oneself. And the concept of the rich matzah that's mixed with wine and so forth, that's the concept of changing oneself. That the attributes actually change from bad to good through the revelation of intellect, which is this idea of wine and oil, which correspond with wisdom and understanding. And milk and honey correspond with kindness and strictness, which comes from das. So that's chabar chachma bina das. In the Sfiras HaOmer corresponds with matzah shira. And therefore the concept of the land of Israel is called the land that flows with milk and honey, chesed and gvura. Therefore it doesn't come to a concept of chametz yet, because it's mixed with fruit juice. Because why is that? Because it's changed, or in Ksavyad Beziskafya. But nonetheless, during Pesach itself, you cannot fulfill your obligation with this kind of matzah only through the bread of poverty, specifically because the arousal from below of the bending oneself of iskafia, that specifically awakens above the revelation of the lights of Toh, which is the arousal, which is the divinity that encompasses creation. That's what awakens it, specifically the Lachma. And in Shavuos, which is the revelation of the lights of Kesed, as gam chametz yochel yisalus chulu, then the chametz can also be elevated and so forth. So you reach the level of chametz. So first lechem oni, then matzah shira, then lechem chametz, shtei lechem. V'zeu masha amar b'Haggadah. This is what it says in the Haggadah. Lachma Anya, the bread of poverty, that our fathers ate in the land of Mitzrayim. Because now this the main concept of going out of Mitzrayim is through the concept of the great love of all of your might. Like we said, that's the idea of matzah or zayin. And when you don't have this great love, therefore he's still in a concept of Egypt, of confinement and boundary. Only through the concept of eating matzah, which is bending oneself and nullifying oneself, one's will. This also awakens the lights of tohu. That which you would awaken, these lights of tohu, through the great love of with all of your might, the third level of Shema. And it's known, that our fathers that were in Egypt, mitzad golus, that were in exile, or mitzad golus, or the Xavier Bez is the boundary of the exile. They were in 49 levels below. Only through matzah you had the arousal from below to this level of meodecha, from that level of 49 gates of impurity. Therefore it makes sense to say that our fathers ate this in the land of Mitzrayim, because this is the hisodotus they had, the hisodotus of the matzah, of the bittul, of the hiskafia, shmitzad etz, that in essence was in a state of boundaries and confinement. Only you had this revelation of the encompassing divinity through the bread of poverty, of bending oneself, which also awakens this idea of the encompassing divinity. And then also, according to the simple explanation, the answer is that we were commanded that we should eat the korban Pesach while still in Mitzrayim, before we got out at midnight. At Chatzos, we had to eat the korban Pesach with matzah. And this was before Chatzos. Just like the halacha is when you eat the korban Pesach. So we must say that they actually did eat the matzahs when they actually were in Mitzrayim. And this, that it also says that they baked the dough into round matzos, because it wasn't chametz. This was the matzos that they were going to eat when they left Mitzrayim after chatzos, like it says in another place at length, the quality of that matzah, the matzah after chatzos. So it's understood from this that this concept of going out of Mitzrayim and this great love came to them through eating matzah, which is the bread of poverty, that they ate while they were still in a concept of boundaries, like we said. And this is why it says that they ate the bread of poverty, because we went out quickly. That what's this concept of quickly? So it explains in another place that this is the idea of running away from bad the bad emotional attributes. That when the emotions are in their full state, and you don't have his hafcha, you're not changing them completely. So the advice is al kol panim levroach mem, to run away from them. So if so, ki b'chipazon is this concept of iskafia, b'bechinas iskafia, which we were talking about, which is this matzah. If so, the going speedily and the bread of poverty is really one idea. Lachma Anya, and the explanation of this is the bread of poverty, because the chametz and the matzah, is only the difference between the hay and the ches. That the ches hints to the idea of the nurturance of the external forces, like it's brought in the preface to the Zohar HaKadosh. In Bereshis, this concept of the letters of Ches and Tes, that Hashem wouldn't create the world with them, that they were not, the letters of sin were not in the Shvatim, because they give a Nika to Klippa. That's the concept of the letter Ches, as opposed to Hey. It was Orchil Gimel Dafresh and Aleph El Pasuk God Chayas Now it's gonna be Yam Chulu. So to the concept of to yell at the animal of the reeds. So that's the concept of the Ches. That what is, because the medrash on that is that Hashem placed a stick, so to speak, in the sea, and upon it was built the country or the city that of Romi and so forth. So the concept of Ches then is unika to Chitzonim, the Chayas kana the Ches v'domid Chayas vid Ches. That's what's the kana. That's the left leg of the ches that's attached. It doesn't have that hole. I know that meaning to say that it doesn't have that a hole on top to go upwards to kedusha. Rather, it goes downwards to the klippas. There's only one way to go down. From the concept of the sea, malchus, which is the concept of malchus. That's the concept of the descent of the lower waters. The concept of how the ches hints to the going down below, which is the idea of malchus. Therefore, the maim specifically arouses all kinds of pleasures in this world, and perhaps also the idea of why the water is specifically what makes something chametz, as opposed to the yain, shem, and vash and chalav that he mentioned before. Because the concept of water comes down from high all the way down below, from the top of the ches to the bottom. But the matzah is the idea that from ches becomes hay, that its mouth opens with wisdom. That's the concept of the opening in the hay with wisdom. And this does not have a nurturance of chitzonim. I guess it's a concept of yamus v'lo b'chachma. Like it's brought in the Siddur on the pasuk Mizmor l'soda. Al pi Mizmor l'soda v'zeu hey Lachma Anya hey Mamar. This is what it means. This is the bread of poverty, an actual hay, the hay of the matzah.